can you combine business growth, being sustainable and growing sustainable, with expansion of a business?
Well, talking for a car manufacturer, obviously the answer is yes, because sustainability is also about sustainable business models. And one example that where we have shown and we will show in the future where we can grow our business and transform our business is, of course, the topic of e-mobility. And we're speeding that up as we speak, producing more and more CO2 free cars or electric vehicles or hybrid vehicles, but also providing the necessary services around that. And yeah, we are growing with that, quite obviously. And that's the other part of sustainable, or sustainability is a sustainable business model. Obviously, it wouldn't be sustainable to just produce internal combustion engines for the next 300 years. We would go out of business. So it's all about the capability of transform ourselves, our mindsets, but also our companies.
Yeah, I think the other thing, Sonia, is it's not just simply about, to Eric's point, I think absolutely businesses have a role to play here, but also the stakeholders. And what I mean by that is consumers who are actually behaving in a certain way, doing things in a certain way. And I think if you look at what Monica said earlier on about saving humankind, I think is it so much that we've already crossed the red line, and now we're backtracking to see how we can slow down the deterioration, quote unquote, of Mother Earth, if that's the right word to use. And what steps do we take as individuals as well as corporates to facilitate that? Slow down if you want. Yeah. The damage has already been done. We know that. The 1.5 degree discussion that's been happening. The Paris Accord has been about participating countries doing things to facilitate the slowdown. China is playing its role or not, in depending how we look at it. So I think one of the key things that's coming to surface is how do you change behavior? We have a view in Europe of how we expect this to happen. If I speak to my counterparts in Africa, they have a different view. If I speak to my counterparts in India, they have a different view. How do you get everybody singing off the same hymn sheet? Now, the COP26 discussion that's going to happen in November in Glasgow has brought to surface yet another set of things which are coming to mind. And that is that how do we en masse change the way we are doing things? And that is a far cry. When you have an individual sitting in London trying to do something as opposed to a guy in Bophuthatswana in the village in the middle of nowhere who is burning kerosene to light his house, what is his behavior and how do we condone that compared to what we're doing over here? So I think there's so many variables. And of course, part of this is, the nature with which humans will change their behavior is, I think, a vital ingredient of everything we are trying to do today. As stakeholders in the whole value chain of humanity, if you want, that's the right word to use.
Do you think?
Yeah,
Sorry, Rita, go ahead.
Sorry, I agree. I echo everyone what says. I think it's a survival mode we need to be. When we talk about sustainability, probably 10 years ago there was different level of conversations, but now the communities needs to play, their role, and this is imminent, right? It's very critical that business takes the ownership, not only driving the businesses, but also how to help to the communities, right? So I think public-private partnerships are gaining more and more importance there. That how do we, companies can help to the communities that, giving the hand and then move the needle, because I totally agree with everyone said. It's happening. We are not talking about to stop it. We are talking about to slowing down probably, and then hoping that nature will act, it's their own path, and then everything will go and rebuild again. So that's why I think different countries have different agendas. Probably understanding is different from one region to another, but believe is that I think the business is playing a very different role to communicate this across the regions and making sure that we can actually accelerate this process.
Yeah. I fully agree with Rita, because I think at the end of the day, you can always look to different countries, to governments, and whatever you want to look at. But at the end of the day, it starts with yourself. So what can I do as a company, as an individual, to contribute on this one? And I think that's also, the purpose of us. What is actually in for us? How can we help it and make that change happen?
Yes, it's
Can you
also
share?
It's also important. We have to change. Companies have to change, and the government is also supporting the changes. But it will help to have like a level playing field to make the choice easier. If a petrol car is a lot cheaper than an electric car, it's difficult to change the mindset. So there's a lot of people involved. In the example of Botswana, yeah, that's another ecosystem over there that it's difficult to compare to here. So we should look at what we can do for ourselves, for our community, for our country, and see. And everybody should do as much as they can within their area.
Yeah. Bas, do you think that MaaS is a good driver for sustainability, or is it more a tool towards sustainability?
MaaS is here to make mobility easier, more accessible, and that you can reach more people. And before, everybody had their own bus company, train company, car, petrol, and everything was separated. And MaaS is has more a helicopter view towards mobility, and therefore that should be the future. And yeah, we as the MaaS supporters should really try to evangelize all the parties involved to become more involved into MaaS.
Yeah, and I hope that more and more parties will contribute, that will have joint MaaS, the big MaaS ecosystem, which is the big future, I think. Mm-hmm. But going back to responsibility and how business can contribute to this change, I would like to ask the same question to everyone regarding how does your organization contribute to sustainability? And I would like to start with John, with CCV, and I know that CCV is a part of Mastercard's Sustainable Initiative, apart from many others. Yeah. Can you tell us shortly about that?
Yeah, I'll do it shortly. So first of all is that we follow actually the market and the customers. So we see all kind of initiatives worldwide. And I agree also with Erik, we see the mega trend now moving towards EV charging. And from that perspective, we have to look to our role and what can we contribute actually to make that happen. And make it happen means that we are providing there also seamless payments in this industry. Not only looking to your own role, but also look also to all the open ends which we have in this industry and to really make it happen. I'm sorry. So that's one thing we do ourselves. So towards the market and towards customers. And on the other hand, of course, as a company, you also have your own responsibility. And therefore, we also have our own sustainability program where we map all our objectives also to the United Nations goals. And we also are looking more to other elements like fostering equality in gender balance and so on. So that's actually 2 points. Follow the market, like I stated, but also look actually to yourself. How can I contribute myself as a company?
Yeah, thank you very much, John. And of course, Mercedes is going fully electric by the year 2030, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a nice link to Erik and the sustainable agenda at Daimler, because I can imagine that there is a lot of pressure on car manufacturer around that agenda.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we have two aspects of that. One is I mentioned it before you as well, is the topic of our products. But I also want to talk about our company as a whole. So of course we don't only sell products, we also make them. We produce them with a lot of internal resources, but also external suppliers. So we have to take care of both of the production, but also of the products themselves. So we at Daimler and Daimler Mobility have set up a very clear agenda to meet, of course, the sustainability requirements. Overall, by 2039, that's the current goal. Maybe we will even be more ambitious, but by 2039, our long-term business success is measured, or the milestone is CO2 neutrality. So by 2039, we want to be CO2 neutral. And of course, it's not only because we believe that's the right thing. We are a luxury brand, so we need to meet also the customer demands and expectations there. We need to take that into consideration as well. And we have to take all of our, everybody in our vast organization with us. It's the retailers, the dealers, everyone in at the plants, at the factories. That's one aspect. Of course, the supply chain is a huge part of that challenge, but also part of the solution, obviously. And we have already incorporated that in all of our core values, which is just a small aspect, but we're very certain about that, and very energized that we want to do more for sustainability and also sustainable production. That's the production side and the corporate side, so to say. But of course, when you talk about our products, in the end, we sell cars and we sell mobility. Some may call it mobility as a service, because a car also is basically a service, but it's maybe to not go into too much details there. Of course, we sell cars, and we will sell more and more electric cars. So instead of an internal combustion engine, we will have electric engines. And again, what is our role here? How can we support that? I think earlier in the session we talked about also it's also the consumer, the customers. They also have to play a part. But for us as a company, we have to help and support our consumers to make the switch from an internal combustion engine, for example, to an electric vehicle. And of course, for us, it's also as a captive organization, the financial services, they can provide a key to electric driving. There will be quite a huge demand. We already see it right in the market right now, for financial services to bring e-mobility into the hands of our customers. We focus there on three topics. One is we want to offer tailor-made leasing solutions. So, for example, our customers do not have to worry when they lease a car, an electric vehicle, about residual values of batteries and stuff, because it's a new technology. People are maybe a little bit scared or skeptic of that. Secondly, we want to offer relevant add-on services. For example, in a couple of markets, we already include the wall box, so to charge the car into our leasing contracts, just to make it easier, more accessible, and more convenient for our customers to charge their car and have the necessary infrastructure in place. And of course, then another aspect is that we offer appropriate insurance services. Again, our customers do not have to worry about any negative impacts. These are some aspects of what we can do to also do more and help our customers to actually make the switch.